Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Rain starting to cross Lake Michigan. It's going to hold off tonight, but how soon before it arrives in southeast Michigan?
It is a case that goes back 5 years and got him fired from the Warren Police Department. The new accusations he faces that has him jailed on a $1 million bond.
In the hands of the jury. Tomorrow, Larry Nassar's former boss could learn whether he'll be sentenced to prison. Former Michigan State Dean William Strample faces charges of misconduct in office, willful neglect of duty, as well as criminal sexual conduct.
While he was dean of osteopathic medicine, he's accused of letting Nassar go back to work without proper supervision. Jermont Terry is live in Jermont. The jury will be back tomorrow morning to continue these deliberations.
That's right, Kimberly. Now, this trial has lasted just over a week and a half, and now we wait to see how long it will take a jury to determine whether or not Strample neglected his oversight duties as it pertains to Larry Nassar, and if he, too, sexually assaulted MSU students.
The ugly chapter of the MSU Larry Nassar scandal turns yet another page. This time, the former dean of the College of Osteopathic Medicine, William Strample, sits in the defendant's seat. The state contends Strample failed to watch over Nassar when the doctor returned to work after allegations originally surfaced of sexual misconduct.
He's the one who suspended Nassar initially when the Title IX investigation started. He's the one that allowed him to go back to work before the investigation was complete.
Strample's defense argued he followed MSU's guidelines.
At the time, there was one allegation. It was investigated. He was cleared.
The U.S. attorney insisting that was far from the case. That's why they threw the willful neglect of duty and misconduct charge against him.
Larry Nassar is taking his direction from the defendant, and only the defendant in this case.
The jury must decide if Strample knew the procedures were in fact non-medical.
Can we sit here today and say, I know exactly what Dr. Strample was supposed to do that day, and he didn't do it?
In addition to not supervising Nassar, the jury must decide if the former dean sexually assaulted students and made offensive comments.
When are you going to learn your place to be submissive and subordinate to men? And when are you going to learn to dress sexy?
His defense said in closing arguments that was just locker room talk.
That speech does not show corruption, does not show a corrupt intent.
Now, the jury only deliberated for a few hours before going home tonight. The deliberations continue Wednesday morning. Reporting live tonight, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
Okay, Jermont. Well, tonight, Detroit police are investigating after a woman is found dead inside a vacant home on Detroit's east side. The woman's body was discovered Monday night on Brentwood, just south of 7 Mile Road between Woodward and John R. Her death is being investigated as a homicide. Police have not released the identity of the woman, but say she is 45 years old. Police have also not said whether they believe her death is connected to the serial killer investigation.
General Motors is expected to make a huge announcement in Flint tomorrow. According to reports, GM President Mark Roos is expected to announce a $150 million investment into its Flint assembly plant. Back in February, the automaker announced it will be adding 1,000 jobs at the plant to build the new generation of pickup trucks.
A Wayne County woman convicted of sex crimes and drug charges involving a 15-year-old boy is heading to prison. 32-year-old Jessica Hurley of Van Buren Township was arrested after investigators uncovered that she was having an inappropriate relationship with the boy for about a year. Police say she was also supplying cocaine, marijuana, and alcohol. Today, she was sentenced to 9 to 40 years in prison.
New tonight, a former Warren police officer already charged with 3 crimes is back behind bars tonight on what appears to be an even more serious charge. Jason Colthorpe at the Warren Police Department with the very latest. Jason.
Karen, Arthur Gill is charged now with assault for allegedly threatening a witness to his very intricate case, a case that goes back 5 years and one that got him kicked off the force here at Warren PD.
The story of Arthur Gill goes back a few years, 5 to be exact, when then Commander Gill was among the Warren officers called to a report of shots fired. He ordered a man onto a porch and punched him in the chest, saying in his police report the man swatted his hand. But the suspect said Gill lied on that report and later filed a federal lawsuit. After another officer corroborated the suspect's story, Gill was fired and charged with 3 misdemeanors. Gill allegedly retaliated against that officer by filing a report against him with Child Protective Services. Now, here's where today's charge comes from. Gill is accused of threatening a doctor who was to testify on the other officer's behalf in that CPS case. We don't know what the threat was, but it was serious enough to get Gill a $1 million bond.
And we normally do not see a $1 million bond in an assault case, so we will be very anxious to see exactly the details of this. And of course, with this case being so slow moving, maybe this arrest, this new charge will get things moving again closer to a resolution. In Warren tonight, Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
Hey, Jason. An Ypsilanti mother outraged after learning her 7-year-old son was left alone on his school bus for several hours after falling asleep. The boy's father dropped him off just after 8 yesterday morning. When the mother went to bring their son his book bag that he left at home, that's when she found out 7-year-old Braylon was nowhere to be found.
I'm thinking, like, is he sure he got on the bus? Did somebody kidnap him at the bus stop? Something has happened. This incident was just unacceptable.
The bus driver is required to check every row of the bus before exiting. The school's superintendent apologized for the incident and plans to take steps in ensuring something like this does not happen again. A traffic alert in Oakland County. Both directions of 14 Mile Road at I-75 are closed tonight for bridge work. Traffic will reopen 5:30 tomorrow morning as crews work to set up new support beams for the I-75 bridge over 14 Mile. The same closure will be in effect tomorrow night as well. It is all part of the ongoing 2-year I-75 modernization project.
A Florida man has pleaded guilty to threatening members of Congress, including Representative Rashida Tlaib. Investigators say 49-year-old John Kless left several hateful voicemails this past April to the Washington offices of Tlaib, Senator Cory Booker, and Representative Eric Swalwell of California. The voicemails included rants about gun control and illegal immigration. He faces up to 5 years in prison. Well, we now know the historic Fox Theater in Detroit will host next month's Democratic presidential debate.
The debates, which will air on CNN, will be broken up into 2 nights, July 30th and 31st. As many as 10 candidates could be participating each night. The first Democratic debate will be held later this month in Miami.
Well, it's something every traveler experiences at least once.
New tonight, which airline is now holding the plane for connecting passengers that are running late?
And it was a popular promotion that caused some chaos at malls all across the country, including here in Metro Detroit. Why some are worried this is going to happen again. Ben.
That's the look I think we're going to have Thursday when we see the forecast. But tonight and starting tomorrow, it looks just like what we saw today. Plenty of sunshine. We'll show you what's come for the weekend in just a minute.
But first, he was bullied on a school bus in Bloomfield Hills.
Do you get those glasses from the convention?
Now, 5 years later, he's sharing an important message for other kids facing bullies. That's coming up next.